The European Space Agency released the data from ExoMars camera on one of its orbiters of Mars, and it looks like they detected the interstellar visitor 3I Atlas that was discovered back on July 1st, 2025.
Something is moving through our solar system, and NASA just called an emergency briefing to discuss what they found. On October 23, 2025, the world woke up to rumors that would send shockwaves across every continent. An object from beyond our solar system, designated 3I/Atlas, has been detected racing toward the inner planets at speeds that defy explanation. And the latest images from the James Webb Space Telescope have revealed something that has left scientists scrambling for answers. This isn't speculation. This isn't science fiction. This is happening right now, 170 million miles from Earth, and what NASA discovered in those new images has forced them to reconsider everything they thought they knew about visitors from interstellar space. The question everyone is asking, is 3I/Atlas a natural comet, or something far more deliberate? July 1st, 2025, the Atlas telescope in Chile detected an anomaly moving at 137,000 miles per hour through our solar system. Within 48 hours, astronomers confirmed what they had feared. This object originated from outside our solar system. 3I/Atlas became only the third confirmed interstellar visitor ever detected by humanity. But unlike the previous two visitors, this one was different, larger, faster, and moving on a trajectory that seemed almost calculated. The name itself should have been a warning. Atlas, the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System, a network specifically designed to detect objects that could threaten Earth. And now that very system had found something from another star system heading into our cosmic neighborhood. NASA immediately mobilized its entire fleet of space telescopes: Hubble, Webb, Sphere-X, multiple Mars orbiters, and nearly every major observatory on and off Earth. This level of coordination hadn't been seen since the search for Planet 9. Why such urgency? What did they see that we didn't? On July 21st, 2025, the Hubble Space Telescope captured the clearest image yet of 3I/Atlas when it was 277 million miles from Earth. The photo showed something that made astronomers pause. A forward jet of light, 10 times longer than it was wide, pointing directly toward the sun. This wasn't a normal comet tail blown backward by solar wind. This was something else, something that seemed to be propelling itself. Then the James Webb Space Telescope turned its infrared eyes toward the visitor, and what it found sent shockwaves through the scientific community. Webb's spectroscopy revealed that 3I/Atlas is releasing massive amounts of carbon dioxide, with one of the highest CO2 to water ratios ever recorded in any comet. But it wasn't just the chemistry that was wrong, it was the rate. The object is venting 70 kilograms of carbon dioxide every single second. That's 154 pounds per second. In total, roughly 330 pounds of material is being ejected from this object every second, like a fire hose blasting into the void of space. Normal comets don't behave this way. They release water vapor. They follow predictable patterns. They obey the laws of physics we've understood for centuries. 3I/Atlas is breaking those rules. The carbon dioxide cloud around this object extends at least 348,000 kilometers in radius, nearly the distance from Earth to the Moon, and it's growing larger every day as the object approaches the Sun. But here's where it truly gets disturbing.
Here and looked rather anomalous. The object is quite large, and it's also aligned in its path with a plane of the planets around the sun. So it's quite intriguing. It offers us a gift, a rare gift of a highly visible object that...
In late August 2025, the Keck Observatory in Hawaii pointed its instruments at 3I Atlas. What they detected made headlines around the world and sparked a controversy that continues to this day. The object is emitting massive amounts of nickel, but absolutely no iron. Let that sink in. In every natural comet, asteroid, and celestial body ever studied, nickel and iron appear together. They're cosmic twins. You don't find one without the other, except in 3I Atlas. The nickel emission showed signs of forming nickel tetracarbonol, a compound with the formula NiCO4. And here's the problem. This process is only known from human industrial refinement of nickel on Earth. We use this exact chemical pathway in factories to purify nickel for manufacturing. It's called the Mond process. And somehow, an object from another star system is producing the exact same industrial signature. Astronomers noted that this nickel-carbonol formation process, aside from 3I Atlas, was only known to exist in industrially produced nickel alloys through the carbonol chemical pathway. Dr. Avi Loeb, the renowned Harvard astrophysicist, put it bluntly. This was a process that we can imagine only because it was used in industry, never seen in comets before. Could a natural comet coincidentally produce the exact chemical signature of human industrial technology? Astronomers say yes, but the odds are staggeringly low. Unless it's not a coincidence. Then came the measurements that made even skeptics take notice. Observations indicated the upper limit on 3I Atlas's diameter is 3.5 miles, though it could be as small as 1,444 feet across. But even the conservative estimates revealed something impossible. The minimum mass of 3I Atlas is 33 billion tons, larger by a factor of 1,000 to 1 million than previous interstellar objects. Think about that probability. We detect our first interstellar object, Oumuamua, in 2017. It's small. We detect our second, 2I Borisov, in 2019, also relatively small. Then suddenly, just 6 years later, we detect something potentially 1 million times more massive? Statistically, we should have found about 1 million objects the size of 2I Borisov before discovering a 5-kilometer interstellar object. The numbers don't add up. The amount of rocky material per unit volume in interstellar space is too small by a factor of 10,000 to deliver one object of this size into the inner solar system during Atlas's decade-long survey. So how is it here? Dr. Avi Loeb proposed an alternative that sent the internet into a frenzy. 3I Atlas may have targeted the inner solar system by technological design. Here's where the story takes its most unsettling turn. 3I Atlas has an orbital eccentricity of 6.137, the highest of any interstellar object ever detected. For context, Earth's orbit has an eccentricity close to 0. Anything above 1.0 means the object isn't bound to our sun, it's just passing through. But 6.137? That's not just passing through, That's moving in almost a perfectly straight line. And here's the kicker. The orbit of 3I Atlas lies almost in the plane of the planets with an inclination of only about 5 degrees to the ecliptic. The ecliptic plane is the flat disk where all the planets orbit the Sun. It's like a cosmic highway, and 3I Atlas is traveling almost perfectly along that highway. The alignment of its trajectory with the orbital plane of the planets around the Sun is a coincidence of only 1 part in 500 for a random orientation. 1 in 500. Those are the odds of this alignment happening by pure chance. It's like throwing a dart from a mile away and hitting a single window. It's possible, but would you bet on
Many
it?
of our space probes can look at. And right now, a few days ago on October 3rd, it passed near Mars within 29 million kilometers. And this camera was able to detect it. And what we see is a ball of light with a slight extension.
In September 2025, astronomers noticed something that had never been documented in any comet in history. 3I Atlas developed an anti-solar tail, a stream of material pointing toward the Sun instead of away from it. Normal comet tails are pushed backward by solar wind and radiation pressure. They always point away from the Sun. Always. 3I Atlas is doing the opposite. This anti-solar stream is composed mainly of carbon dioxide, water, and traces of cyanide and nickel, and it's streaming in the wrong direction, toward the source of heat and pressure that should be pushing it away. Astronomers have rarely observed anti-tails, and never under such chemically peculiar conditions. Could this be some exotic natural phenomenon we've never encountered? Yes. Is it more consistent with controlled venting or propulsion? That's the question NASA won't answer publicly. As if all of this weren't strange enough, scientists traced back 3I Atlas's trajectory through space, and what they found challenges our understanding of cosmic time itself. University of Oxford astronomer Matthew Hopkins conducted an analysis suggesting 3I Atlas might be more than 7 billion years old, predating our solar system by more than 3 billion years. 7 billion years. This object is older than Earth, older than the Sun, older than everything in our solar system combined. Following its current trajectory backward, scientists determined that 3I Atlas originated in a part of the Milky Way known to be older than our solar system. This would make 3I Atlas the oldest comet humanity has ever observed, a time capsule from an era when our sun hadn't even formed yet, from a stellar neighborhood that might host civilizations billions of years more advanced than ours. Dr. Avi Loeb is no stranger to controversy. In 2017, he suggested Oumuamua, the first interstellar visitor, might be an alien probe. The scientific community largely dismissed him. Now, with 3I Atlas, Loeb has doubled down. Loeb and his team posted a paper titled, "Is the Interstellar Object 3I Atlas Alien Technology?" exploring whether this visitor could be artificially made. His evidence? The industrial nickel signature, the impossible size statistics, the ecliptic alignment, the anti-solar tail, the carbon dioxide dominance, the age, the trajectory. Loeb invoked Pascal's wager, arguing that we must consider the technological origin of anomalous interstellar objects seriously, even if the likelihood seems small, because the implications are enormous. He wrote, "We must keep in mind the story of the Trojan horse, where an innocent-looking visit delivered an existential threat to the city of Troy." Is Loeb right? Is 3I Atlas something designed? The mainstream scientific community says no, but they're also struggling to explain the anomalies using natural processes alone. Loeb stated that dogmatists who insist 3I Atlas is natural must be held accountable to explain all of these anomalies as results of probable natural processes. So far, no one has provided a complete natural explanation that accounts for everything. Right now, as you watch this, 3I Atlas is behind the Sun from our perspective on Earth. On October 21, 2025, the comet entered solar conjunction, positioned almost directly behind the Sun relative to Earth. It will reach perihelion, its closest point to the Sun, on October 29, 2025 at 11:47 UTC. At that moment, the comet will be moving at its maximum speed of 68 kilometers per second, about 152,000 miles per hour. 3I Atlas passed Mars at its closest approach on October 3, 2025, and multiple Mars orbiters captured images of the object. Those images are still being analyzed. NASA has not released all of them publicly. Why not? The object will re-emerge from behind the Sun in November 2025. By late October 2025, it will disappear behind the Sun and re-emerge in November, after which it will continue its journey through the solar system, exit it, and be gone forever. And here's where Dr. Loeb's warning becomes chilling. Loeb wrote, "If 3I Atlas is technological, it may maneuver to benefit from the Sun's gravitational assist or release probes that could intercept Earth or other planets owing to its retrograde orbit, opposite in direction to the motion of the planets around the Sun." He added, "If 3I Atlas will maneuver toward Earth when it reappears on the other side of the Sun, the financial markets may crash." Is that fear-mongering or a legitimate scientific concern? NASA insists the trajectory is stable. They've stated clearly that 3I Atlas poses no threat and will remain far from Earth, but they also admitted they can't fully predict what an interstellar object might do. "No one knows where the comet came from," said David Jewett of UCLA, science team leader for the Hubble observations. "It's like glimpsing a rifle bullet for a thousandth of a second. You can't project that back with any accuracy to figure out where it started on its path."
And it doesn't look like a typical comet where you see a beautiful tail of dust stretching away from the direction of the Sun. So it looks still quite anomalous. It's similar to the image we obtained from the Hubble Space Telescope on July 21st.
Here's another detail that keeps astronomers awake at night. When 3I Atlas was first observed, it appeared reddish. By September 2025, it had turned green. A study reported that 3I Atlas's coma became redder throughout July 2025, indicating an evolving surface or coma composition as a result of increasing cometary activity. Then it shifted to green. Natural comets can change color as different ices sublimate at different temperatures, but this dramatic of a shift in this short of a time frame with this unusual chemistry? One researcher noted, "The color shift could track changes in sunlight and temperature that wake up different molecules at different distances. Or it could indicate something else, something activating, something responding to solar proximity." In mid-September, data from the Comet Observation Database showed that 3I Atlas was outperforming expectations, brightening faster than predicted. It wasn't following the brightness curve of a normal comet. It was getting brighter faster in ways that didn't match the models. Then suddenly, it stabilized. As of August 2025, observations detected no outbursts in 3I Atlas. Its brightness and activity level appeared steady. Why did it surge, then stop? What changed? Let's be absolutely clear about one thing. NASA has confirmed that 3I Atlas will come no closer to Earth than 1.8 astronomical units, about 170 million miles. There is zero chance of physical impact. The closest approach already happened on July 21st, 2025. Earth is not in danger, not from collision anyway. But there's another kind of threat, an intellectual one, a philosophical one. Every anomaly can be explained away individually with enough creative natural processes. But when you line up all the anomalies together, the size, the chemistry, the nickel signature, the trajectory alignment, the anti-tail, the age, the brightness changes, the natural explanations start to strain credibility. As one astronomer put it, one anomaly can be a measurement quirk. A handful of them begins to sound like a pattern. We're not saying 3I Atlas is alien technology. We're saying that's a question that deserves to be asked, and that dismissing it without investigation is as unscientific as believing it without evidence. Loeb argues that encountering an interstellar artifact might constitute a black swan event, with a low likelihood but major implications, and Pascal's wager applies. The cost of ignoring this possibility, if we're wrong, is infinitely greater than the cost of investigating it and being wrong. NASA has mobilized an unprecedented fleet of observatories to study this single object, including assets that have never before been coordinated for a comet observation. Why such extreme measures for an object that poses no threat? Radio telescope observations have been recommended to check whether the near alignment of 3I Atlas's arrival direction correlates with any known signals. Specifically, some researchers have noted potential alignment with the famous WOW signal from 1977, the strongest candidate for an extraterrestrial radio transmission ever detected. Is that connection real or coincidence? We don't know, because NASA hasn't released all the data.
Which was enigmatic because there was an extension of the image in the direction of the sun, as if there is a jet that is luminous in the direction leading to the sun rather than away from the sun, the way we see for comets. So we see now that it passed near Mars, and there will be
Multiple Mars spacecraft turned their instruments toward 3I Atlas during its October 3rd flyby. Those images exist. They've been captured. But they haven't all been made public. What are they waiting for? In a few weeks, 3I Atlas will re-emerge from behind the sun, and when it does, every major telescope on Earth will be watching. If it continues on its predicted trajectory, the mystery remains unsolved, but the threat, such as it is, passes. The object will exit our solar system past Jupiter in March 2026 and be gone forever. But if it deviates from that trajectory, if it shows any signs of maneuvering, course correction, or deceleration, then every assumption we've made about this object becomes invalid. Dr. Loeb noted, during the upcoming months, we should observe 3I Atlas with radio telescopes to check whether the alignment was spurious. Hopefully, we will learn much more about 3I Atlas in the coming days. Another researcher stated, the right response is not to fall in love with the extraordinary answer. The right response is to gather the kind of data that lets the ordinary answer win on evidence, not on habit. That's what science demands: evidence, data, observation. But what if the evidence doesn't support the ordinary answer? David Jewett said, this latest interstellar tourist is one of a previously undetected population of objects bursting onto the scene that will gradually emerge. This is now possible because we have powerful sky survey capabilities that we didn't have before. We've crossed a threshold. We've crossed a threshold. That's the key phrase. For billions of years, interstellar objects have been passing through our solar system, hundreds, maybe thousands of them, but we couldn't see them. Our technology wasn't good enough. Now it is, and the first 3 objects we've been able to detect have all been anomalous in different ways. Oumuamua tumbled in a way that suggested a flat, elongated shape. like a disk or cylinder. It accelerated when leaving the Sun without showing any cometary outgassing to explain the thrust. 2I Borisov looked more normal, that its chemistry revealed it formed around a star very different from our Sun, a star with twice the carbon abundance. And now 3I Atlas arrives with industrial signatures, impossible statistics, and a trajectory that seems almost deliberate. 3 objects, 3 mysteries, 0 complete explanations. What are the odds that the first 3 interstellar visitors we detect all happen to be the weird ones? What if they're not weird? What if this is normal for interstellar space, and our models are fundamentally wrong? Or what if Dr. Loeb is right, and we're detecting the first evidence of technologies from civilizations far older than ours? The Trojan horse appeared as a gift. It was accepted, and it destroyed a civilization. 3I Atlas is not a gift. It's not slowing down. It's not stopping. By all accounts, it will swing past the Sun and leave forever. But the warning remains. We assumed Oumuamua was natural. We were never able to prove it. We assumed 2I Borisov was normal. Its chemistry proved otherwise. Now we're assuming 3I Atlas is just an unusually large, chemically weird, industrially signatured, perfectly aligned comet from a 7-billion-year-old star system. Maybe we're right. Maybe every anomaly has a natural explanation we just haven't thought of yet. Or maybe we're witnessing something that will rewrite every textbook, challenge every assumption, and force humanity to confront the most profound question we've ever asked. Are we alone? NASA has confirmed 3I Atlas poses no physical threat to Earth, and they're probably right. But the threat it poses to our understanding of the universe, to our place in the cosmos, to our assumption that we're the only technological civilization in the Milky Way, that threat is very, very real. 3I Atlas is still out there, right now, behind the Sun, heating up, releasing massive plumes of carbon dioxide, carrying industrial signatures, moving on a trajectory that defies statistical probability. In November, it reappears, and we'll have our answer, or at least the beginning of one. Will it continue on its predicted path, proving once and for all that it's just a weird comet from a distant star? Or will it do something that forces us to reconsider everything? We've crossed a threshold, David Jewett said. We're no longer blind to interstellar visitors. We can see them now. We can study them. We can track them. The question is, what happens when they start tracking back? NASA has confirmed 3I Atlas poses no physical threat to Earth, but they can't confirm what it represents. They can't explain all the anomalies. They can't tell us where it came from or why it's here. All they can do is watch and wait, and hope that when it emerges from behind the Sun in November, it behaves exactly as predicted. Because if it doesn't, then everything changes. The universe just got a lot more complicated and a lot less empty. Stay vigilant. Keep watching the skies. And remember, the greatest threat isn't always the one you can see coming. Sometimes it's the one you didn't think was a threat at all. This is 3I Atlas, the visitor from beyond, the anomaly from ancient space, the object that refuses to follow the rules. And it's not done with us yet.